Hi everyone, it's me. So it's time I started doing the third commentary. This is a day late, so let's go ahead. If you're wondering, this is what I've been listening to music-wise. I discovered this artist and been listening to their music, and I kind of like it. It's growing on me. So let's go ahead and get on with this commentary. So, I got a new date for the check ride, and today I received the scenario from the DPE. It's getting better. I wish the process had remained the same as it was for the private instructor. It was a case of where the instructor would contact the DPE and make the appointment, and that got changed, and it's just like too many voices, too many people talking to each other. We did group emails, and there was just a bit of confusion, and just like I have to say though, the price of doing an examination for the check ride has doubled from what it was when I last did my private. It threw me off. I never expected it, because like the price or the fee to pay someone to do the examination was $600 last time, and the last time I saw my instructor, I said how much, and she said like about $800, and then still when it came and I read it, it was like $950 just to examine you for like how many hours. But like I just can't believe how much it went up. Like this, it's only been like a year, almost 2 years it would be 2 years in August that I did my private pilot check ride, and it's gone up basically almost double. 1200 be double. But yeah, it was just like, yeah, I did not expect it to be that high. Yeah, that kind of panicked me a little bit, like $950, because I had money on standby. I had 400, and I had another 200 coming on Thursday, and it was like, oh, it's just gonna be $600, and then like, hell no. Jeez. But no, I have finally gotten everything. I'm using like everything. I know why they send it out early, because if you focus on something like the flight planning for the scenario and stuff like that, it distracts you. If you're working on something, it makes you calm, and it's exactly what it did. The problem is though, I'm already done as much as I can do now. He sent the email about 6 hours ago, like 10 o'clock, 7 o'clock. By 1 a.m. I had everything done that I could. I don't mess around. Oh dear. No, I mean, that's good. It's just like, I don't want to give any details out now, but maybe I'll do a separate video, and then the day before I'll explain everything I did and what I was gone, and then that will be the video that when the check ride goes on, when I know the check ride is going to go ahead, I will release that, so people on the channel have something to watch and know that while they're watching that, I'm doing my actual check ride. It's that's what I did last time, and I liked it. Like, you get to see what I was thinking, my frame of mind, how I was, what I was doing the day before. So yeah, so we're watching the flight video from last Tuesday again. It was pretty cool. It really annoyed me that the SD card got corrupted somehow. Like the older GoPros, you could just plug the cameras in with the USB cord and transfer the information, the files that way. But with the GoPro 8 Blacks, you actually have to take the SIM card out and use the USB. And I must have taking the USB out without closing the program, so it got corrupted. I mean, I did everything else check-wise, planning-wise, and did all the checklists, but I wasn't, I didn't go over the cameras enough, so. I mean, it kind of turned out well, because it would have allowed me to make the video on the flight back. Otherwise, I would have used both cameras on the flight down there, and there would only be one flight video. And I got myself 2 instead of 1, which is good. Got the email today that my flying eye glasses has been completed. They got it back in the office today, and they're going to be sending it out in a day or 2. So hopefully I should get it like next week. Probably on Wednesday, maybe Tuesday. I kind of got them as a reward for whenever I, for doing the instrument and passing it. Like the Bose headset with Bluetooth that I use, that was my reward myself. I had the Bose headset, regular Bose headset with no Bluetooth, and I figured after I'm going to be going up with people and you're going to need your own headset, that's one of the things they don't tell you, is that you have to have spare headsets for your passengers, because not every place rents out headsets. The FBO that I'm at, they don't rent out their headsets, and I don't think my flying club does either. I think they may have 1 or 2 spare, but I'm not entirely sure. But like it's best to have your own. So I decided I would like to use the Bluetooth stuff, because there's huge benefits to it. So I decided, as a reward for passing the pilot check ride, I would get them, and that's what I did. The benefits of having Bluetooth on your headset is, one, when you land at a non-towered airport, you have to call the phone number to pick up your IFR clearances. You actually have to call if you have your Foreflight and there is no frequency but just a phone number, that means you have to call the approach to pick up the clearance. And if you don't have Bluetooth, you would have to shut the plane down and call them up, and that's what we did eventually, because when I was with my instructor, we was talking between each other and you can't hear, so we had to shut down. But with a Bluetooth, you can connect your headset with your phone and talk through your headset on the phone, and you don't have to shut the engine down, so you can get out quicker. And I was pointing out to another YouTuber who was having electrical failure, and I was asking if the fear of not being able to talk to anyone was on his mind at all, and then I pointed out that the headset Bose has its own power source. You can use the Bluetooth on the headset, connect it to your phone, and call the approach or tower wherever you are, and talk to them that way, or just use it. You can get them to relay it to whatever tower or approach that you're at. It's not recommended, it's not in the instructions at all, but it's for me, it's an if all else fails. I have a VHF handset, I have a little mini radio, I have all the radios, I have all the backup, but if everything else fails, I'm going to use the cell phone and the Bluetooth on my headset to talk to someone on the phone. Like, if you're in an emergency situation, you can't talk. I mean, although technically, yes, if you lose electricity, it's not an emergency. The plane can still fly. If you lose all electric power, the plane still flies. But being able to talk to someone on the ground helps everyone and helps keep you calm too. So that's why I leave it as an or else. If all else fails, I can talk to someone. And then there's the additional perks, like if you're flying solo on cross country, I listen to the YouTube music playlist that I have called Listening to Music While Flying. The over an hour long songs, so I can just play it and forget it. So I have that in the background, and I can still hear everything on the radio and talk to them. The main benefit for that is because I have tinnitus, so I've always have that high pitch pinning going on in my ears, so I have to have some sort of noise to equal it out, and music at the level that I have it keeps it so I don't hear that high pitched tone all the time. So there is a lot of benefits for having headsets with Bluetooth, and that's the main reason. And then to get back to my original point, that's why I got the Flying Eyes. I ordered it a little bit early because I actually do need it, because my lessons in IFR showed that the sun in my eyes is causing a problem. But it looks like I'm going to be getting them after the check wear date. I've just been trying to focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. These taxis. Yeah, that's the one thing I noticed watching this video that makes me cringe. Is like, I did the run up. I went into the run up area and I did everything okay, but I didn't turn the plane into the wind so much. The headwind, the wind was facing runway 31, so you would take off into a headwind. So I should have turned the plane more instead of just pointing to where I'd go with the taxiway. Yeah, that was annoying, because I was doing everything. I was so careful. Like, I was in this video that you got to see last, you see all the planning, because I felt bad that you couldn't see the full video, so I showed and shared more of my Foreflight stuff that I had with me. Like, if they come up on the ATIS and they say there's a taxiway closed and I'm not with an instructor, I take my time, I mark it on the taxiway which ones are closed, which way I'm probably going to go. And that time it was easy, because with taxiway Charlie closed, there's only one way to go, so that's why I drew the green line all the way around 2-4. Because if C is closed, the only way is over taxiway 2-4. And the area between from where I set up the engine of the plane until the taxiway is a non-moving zone. There's a line that you have to stop at and talk to ground to clear. And the reason why I don't pull up all the way up to the line is so if I discover there's a problem with the plane, or if they told me taxiway Charlie is in entirety is closed, I can turn around. If I went up to the line, I would have no other option but to go onto taxiway Charlie to turn around and come back again. So by not pulling up to the line and just pulling up to next to that truck, I could turn around safely. So yeah, this is what makes me cringe, because like I should have turned more into the wind instead of pointing towards the taxiway that I was going to go at. But I was aware no one else was behind me, so it's just seeing it on the video after, it was really frustrating. But yeah, going down to Delaware, that was a lot of fun. It was exactly what I needed. It was a little bit of a diversion. It was a 2-hour break. went down to Delaware, had food, and came back. The death fries were amazing. I really ordered way too much. The fish and chips, basically ordered fish and fries and more fries, and it was like I really underestimated how much they would give me, and I won't make that mistake again. But it was really good. The next place I'm planning to go is Claremont in Maryland. I'm probably going to do that in 2 weeks' time, a week on Tuesday. Again, I'm going to have to go in the middle of the week because the TFR that comes over Newcastle or Wilmington covers most of Maryland and Philadelphia. Yeah. You learn that as well during your IFR. You spend all that time planning your route and doing all the planning, and then you get to the first waypoint and they tell you clear direct to destination, making it all complete waste of time. And that's exactly what happened. Even on this, I thought I'd be nice to them and do that route around the Bravo so I wouldn't have to go into the Bravo airspace. Got to the Pottstown VOR and they said clear to Georgetown, Sussex Town direct, clear into the Bravo. I mean, I was grateful, of course. So yeah, that was the they say you hope you always learn something from every flight, and that's what I learned from this going down is how I was going through the charts. Like I was using the VFR charts to know what departure frequency I would get from Philly approach. I had anticipated that the Allentown would transfer me or hand me off straight away, so I was reading the frequency box directly below Allentown, and the one I should have read was the one over Pottstown, and they give me a whole different set of frequencies coming back. So I from next time, or I'm gonna look at instead of just looking at one box frequency for whatever airport, I'm gonna at least look to the one to the left of it, and the same for the bottom two. I would look for them too and get the two sets of frequencies. So in my planning, I would have 4 possible frequencies for going down and coming back up again. That's more likely the frequency I would get. It's so much easier if you have the frequency listed the way that I do. So from the start you have the ADIS, clearance, ground, tower, approach, and then all the way down to the destination. You really don't have to. It makes everything so much easier if you can just read it off the tablet or pad that you have. I found that to be really helpful. It's a lot less. It's one less thing that I have to do. Because I'm left-handed, I get myself mixed up because I'm uncoordinated. Because my hand is on the yoke, and I have to take the hand off the yoke to right and swap my right hand onto the yoke. But you're supposed to be guarding the throttle sometimes. Like we got taught during our initial that you have to keep your hand near the throttle to guard it, but in instrument that's been relaxed a little bit. I've got to get used to that. Like you can put your hand back down onto your leg instead of guarding the throttle, because if anything happens at when you're at 3,000 feet, if anything were to happen, it's pretty safe to assume that you can get your hand back to the throttle quickly. It's only when you're taking off or landing, when you're close to the ground, that you need to keep the throttle guarded. So yeah, but basically, because I tell you, being left-handed, causes confusion. So for that reason, having everything listed so you can just glance at it and look at it, and it makes it so much easier. But if you having something ready to jot down the frequencies that you are given, I was able to. It wasn't really that much of a hassle. The frequencies they give me, I write it down before I change it, and then I change the frequency. On the way back from Delaware, you may have noticed that after I took off, I gave the last call and left Unicom and changed to Dover approach, but I didn't say anything straight away. I waited until I heard something, because VHF radio is line of sight, so I knew that I would be a little bit low until I was at 3,000, and I didn't start hearing anything until I was like 2,800, and the closer you get, the more. It's basically a funnel shape. If you imagine those cones that pets wear around the neck, that's what radio signals look like, basically. And if your plane is outside of that cone, you're not going to pick up that radio signal. So I waited until I heard someone, then I did the initial call. Yeah. If you're doing the opposite, you are going to go to land and you get told to change frequency, you don't start descending until you're in contact with someone. Because if you descend too early, you'll descend and never enter into that cone of communication. You'll always be outside of the range of the radio frequency. So it's if you get hand over and you change and you don't pick up anything or don't get a response, don't start descending. Just keep flying straight and level, because they probably changed you a little too soon. And just wait until you hear something on the frequency. Yeah, so we're coming close to the end. So yeah, this video is good. It's going to keep me at 30 minutes because the video is only 30 minutes long. So I'm going to go ahead and end here. I'll do another commentary once I have something to do. Like I said, I only plan to do like 4. This is the 3rd. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess I'm going to end it here. We got 24 minutes. That's good enough. I guess I'm going to put the music back on as my outro, and I shall see you soon.